Dear students, I welcome you all to a very interesting topic in history titled Tourism and History Part 1. I call it interesting because tourism is one of the most dynamic and competitive industries in the world. It boosts revenue, creates thousands of jobs, and instills a sense of cultural exchange between foreigners and citizens. Tourism is a major economic activity that has developed significantly over the years. In general terms, tourism is a movement of people from one place to another to visit and be mesmerized by the beauty of the place. Subtopics to be done in this chapter: tourism in the past, types of tourism, development of tourism, conservation and preservation of historical places, and professional opportunities in the tourism and hospitality industry. In the first part of this chapter, we shall take up tourism in the past and types of tourism. The remaining subtopics will be taken up in part 2. So let's begin with the lesson. We shall take the first subtopic, tourism in the past. The tradition of traveling is quite old in India. People used to travel for various reasons like a pilgrimage, going to local fairs and festivals, in search of a renowned teacher, to beget good education, and for trade. The Buddhist literature tells us that Gautam Buddha traveled to several cities and villages in ancient India for preaching. Buddhist monks were ordained not to stay at one place but keep traveling continuously to various places to spread Buddhism. Ordained means to become a priest or a monk. Jain monks and sadhus also used to travel constantly on foot. Now let's learn of some of the saints who traveled to India. One among them was Yuan Zhan, the Chinese monk known for translating Buddhist texts. In the medieval period, Saint Namdev, Saint Eknath, Guru Nanak, and Ramdas Swami travelled extensively in India. The following are a few foreign travellers who visited India in the medieval period. The chief among them are Benjamin of Tudela. Benjamin was born in Tudela in Spain during the period between 1159 to 1173 CE. He travelled to France, Germany, Italy, Greece, Syria, Arabia, Egypt, Iraq, Persia, India, and China. Tudela maintained diaries of the accounts of his travels. His diaries are viewed as important historical documents. Marco Polo was another traveler from Italy of the 13th century. He introduced Asia, especially China, to Europe. He stayed in China for 17 years. He wrote about the flora and fauna, social life, culture, and trade systems of Asia. We now proceed to the traveler of the 14th century who took the world on a virtual travel of the Islamic world with his travel accounts. His name is Ibn Battuta. His accounts are helpful in understanding the medieval history and social life. We now come to Gerardus Mercator. This 16th century cartographer was known for creating a world map and a globe of the earth. His work proved to be very useful for navigation around the world. Cartographer means a person who draws or produces maps. Children, we shall now learn about the term tourism. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines tourism as the practice of traveling to visit places in distant regions to rejuvenate or a specific purpose. During the latter half of the 19th century CE, the name of Thomas Cook is noteworthy in the context of tourism history, as he organized a trip from Leicester to Loughborough for 600 people. Later, he organized a round trip of Europe. This early venture of Thomas Cook opened doors for the development of modern history. Let us now see how the tourism agency Thomas Cook developed in 175 years.
Thomas Cook Holiday Pledge, we promise to find you a holiday resort that fits all your requirements, or give you your money back.
Let's see.
As mentioned earlier, the tradition of traveling was prevalent in India from ancient time. In Maharashtra, we have Vishnubhat Godse, who wrote down the accounts of his journey from Maharashtra to Ayodhya and back to Maharashtra in a book known as Maza Pravas. This book has detailed descriptions of the Indian War of Independence of 1857, especially the bravery of Rani Lakshmibai. We also get to know the nature of the Marathi language of the 18th century. Children, we have learned the meaning of the term tourism. Let's now study the types of tourism. These days, tourism has become an independent field of local, interstate, national, and international business. The desire to visit national and international monuments, places of historical importance, and natural beauty help to develop aesthetic sense and instills appreciation of architecture and a cultural heritage. Also, ancient centers known for handicrafts, industrial centers, and sites of various development projects promote tourism. Tourists from all over the world wish to visit the places like snow-capped peaks, beaches, pristine jungles which were neglected previously. Tourism can be broadly classified into local and interstate tourism, international tourism, historical tourism, geographical tourism, health tourism, agro-tourism, sports tourism, and tourism based on special events. Now let's learn the types of tourism one by one. We begin with local and interstate tourism. This type of tourism is not very overwhelming because it is within one's own country. It does not cause difficulties in language. Procuring of currency is also easy as the currency is the same all over the nation. No documents are required and we can plan a trip anytime suitable for us. International tourism. This type of tourism refers to the tourism that crosses national borders. And nowadays, it has become easier to travel all around because of railways, marine, and air transport. Marine transport has linked the coastal regions. Aviation has brought the entire world closer with a number of airlines operating within this competitive world. Due to the economic liberalization policy of the government, the number of people traveling back and forth from India has increased. They include people traveling for studies, for relaxation, for sightseeing, professional assignments, and also for shooting films. Now let's learn historical tourism. This type of tourism is popular all over the world. Tours to historical places are arranged to see forts, battlefields, and ancient monuments. Gopal Neelkant Dandekar, a renowned Marathi writer, used to arrange hiking tours to forts in Maharashtra to explore the sites closely linked to Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and his achievements. Tours are also arranged to important historical sites in India, such as forts in Rajasthan, ashrams of Gandhiji and Acharya Vinoba Bhave, and important places related to the Indian War of Independence of 1857. We shall now move on to geographical tourism. This type of tourism involves visiting places to observe special geographical features, which includes natural and animal sanctuaries and places like the Valley of Flowers in Uttarakhand, unique geographical wonder like the crater lake at Lonar, Ranjan Thalge at Nikhoj in Maharashtra, which are naturally carved out cavities in the rocks, we shall now learn about a very important growing sector in India, that is health tourism. People from the Western countries find health services cheaper and of good standard in India. Hence, many foreigners prefer to come to India to avail the medical facilities and health services. Availability of facilities for yoga training and therapies based on Ayurveda is one of the most important reasons for tourists to want to visit India. And Kerala is very famous for its treatment named Panchakarma, which is 5 therapies for cleaning body, mind, and conscience. Now let's see what is agro-tourism. Agro-tourism, which is also known as agri-tourism, is rapidly developing, especially meant for urban population which has very little exposure to rural life and agriculture. Nowadays, Indian farmers are also visiting agricultural research centers and universities, and countries like Israel, where experimentation in advanced technology of agriculture is carried on. Moving on now to sports tourism, which was developed in the 20th century and is a growing sector of global trend. There are various sports events organized on international level like Olympics, Wimbledon, World Chess Championship, and international cricket tournaments. Events like Maharashtra Kesari Wrestling Competition at state level and Himalayan Car Rally on national level also come under sports tourism. Now let's see what is tourism based on special events. In the 21st century, it has become common to organize special events which help to promote tourism, such as film festivals, seminars and conferences for better insight into any interesting subject, international book exhibition which offers a wide selection of books and instills a love for reading amongst the people. Many literature enthusiasts in Maharashtra travel every year to attend Akhil Bharatiya Marathi Sahitya Sammelan or Pan-Indian Marathi Literary Convention, wherein writers, poets, and distinguished people from all walks of life come together with the aim of preserving language, literature, arts, culture, and music. Apart from the type of tourism mentioned, there are other types of tourism like science tourism. It involves visiting museums, laboratories, universities, etc. They are to gain knowledge and scientific inventions. Leisure or relaxation or wellness tourism. This tourism is travel for purpose of promoting health and well-being through physical, psychological, or spiritual activities. Cultural tourism. It includes activities such as visiting historical monuments, trying to appreciate the local culture, and participating in the local festival of dance and music. Finally, group tourism. This is a special travel program that provides vacations for a group who want to have travel experience with other people with common interest. With this, children, We come to the end of the two subtopics, tourism in the past and types of tourism. The remaining subtopics will be done in the next class. You are requested to read the lesson thoroughly. Thank you for your participation, and we shall meet again in the next class.